Have you ever carried a pain that no one wanted to hear? Have you tried to speak, to explain, to open your heart, only to notice people slowly pulling away? As if your pain felt too heavy for their everyday lives. You begin to sense that the problem is not only suffering, but disturbing others with your suffering. The mother who lost a child and was told, "Be strong." The person who returned to work while grieving, because life goes on. A pain that had no space, no pause, no permission to exist. Many people feel far from God in seasons like this. There are pains that are not denied. They are simply ignored. And when that happens, a quiet question is born. One few dare to say out loud, "Is God silent too?" This biblical story reflects the pain of human life, and it may help you if your faith is shaken, if you are feeling distant from God, if you are wondering what it means to hold on when God does not seem to respond. There is a real story recorded in the Bible that speaks directly to this kind of pain. A story without exaggeration, without metaphor, without a quick, happy ending. It carries the name of a woman who remained when everyone else walked away. And it reveals what happens when pain is ignored by people, but not by God. The story takes place in a time when old decisions were still producing consequences in the present. Israel was under the rule of King David, but the crisis they faced did not begin in his reign. Something unresolved from the past remained open, demanding an answer. This is how many spiritual struggles appear in life. They do not start now, but they manifest now. You feel the impact, even though you were not part of the origin. In the middle of this setting appears Rizpah. Her name carries a strong meaning: burning coal, a fire that continues to glow. This is not a detail, it is identity. Rizpah is not portrayed as fragile or passive, but as someone who carries endurance within. She does not stand at the center of power. She does not decide the direction of a nation. Yet her presence changes the course of the story. Before anything happens to her, her very name announces that something in her will not go out. Fire does not need noise to exist. It needs constancy. At some point in life, you discover what it means to stay lit in cold environments. You keep going, carrying daily responsibilities, while situations larger than you unfold. There is no stage, no recognition, only the decision to remain. That is why this story reaches so deeply. It speaks of a quiet strength many people carry, without ever learning how to name it. A pain you did not cause. In 2 Samuel 21, Scripture describes 3 years of famine over Israel. Not a bad week, not a short season, a prolonged hardship that drained everyone. David refuses to accept it as normal and seeks God for understanding. God reveals that the suffering did not originate in that moment or generation. It was the direct result of an old sin committed by Saul, who violated a covenant with the Gibeonites. Here we learn that some pain travels through time, when what was left unresolved is never addressed. When this truth touches your own life, it becomes uncomfortable. You may be facing blockage, loss, or stagnation that did not begin with you. You inherited environments, stories, decisions, and silences that shaped what now affects you. Entire families function this way, carrying weight that was never named. The problem is not only pain, but pain without understanding. And until the root is addressed, the suffering continues to surface in different forms. Explained pain, but ignored pain. In 2 Samuel 21, 3-6, the Gibeonites ask for justice for the blood that was shed. The answer comes with spiritual clarity. The cause is explained. The reason is understood. 7 descendants of Saul are to be handed over. Among them are the 2 sons of Rizpah, as recorded in 2 Samuel 21:8. The decision had justification, But no one paused to acknowledge the cost. You recognize moments like this, when everything is explained, yet no one feels the pain with you. When people say, you have to accept it, without extending a hand. When they say, it was God's will, without realizing the weight of those words. Truth spoken without care does not heal. It only informs. And when pain is unseen, it begins to express itself in other ways. A grief without closure. In 2 Samuel 21:9, the 7 descendants are executed. But the story does not end there. Their bodies remain exposed, without immediate burial, in full view. In that culture, this meant more than death. It meant prolonged humiliation. The suffering was not only in what happened, but in what continued afterward. The loss had no ending. Many people live with this kind of spiritual pain. Loss without closure, questions without answers, goodbyes never spoken. Some grief does not end on the day of death. It renews itself daily, until someone dares to face the wound, remaining when no one stays. In 2 Samuel 21:10, Rizpah makes a quiet, unwavering decision. She spreads sackcloth and remains there, day after day. By day, she drives away the birds. By night, she confronts wild animals. She repeats the same act without applause, without timeline. This did not last hours or days, but months. From the beginning of harvest until the rain finally came. This was not a single moment of strength. It was daily endurance. You understand this kind of faith in difficult times. When support fades, but the process continues. When messages stop, but the pain still needs attention. To remain when no one else does requires deep courage. It is not dramatic faith. It is grounded faith, quiet faith. And this persistence begins to move things long before results appear, when God sees what others ignore. In 2 Samuel 21:11, David hears about Rizpah's constancy, not through protest, not through demand, but through faithful presence. Movement follows. The bodies are gathered. They receive proper burial. Honor is restored. Then the land responds. The famine ends. This teaches something essential about spiritual suffering and divine timing. When God does not seem to respond, it does not mean he is absent. When God feels silent, it does not mean he is inactive. Sometimes God allows a process to reach its fullness so restoration can be complete. For Rizpah, it was not only burial, it was dignity restored. It was the cycle closed. Her pain was ignored by people, but never unseen by God. Every night she remained. Every day she endured. It was all noticed. And your life is no different. God sees when no one asks. God sees when no one stays. God sees every tear you held back, just to keep going. Human silence does not measure divine care. What Rizpah teaches you today. When you look honestly at Rizpah's story, it becomes a mirror. You have known moments when your pain was real, but treated as small. You kept standing while others moved on. Remaining like this is exhausting. It makes faith feel fragile. It can make you feel distant from God. Yet this story shows that staying was not wasted time. It was a position. Where have you remained while others left? Where are you still doing what is right without recognition? Remaining is not stubbornness. It is honoring what still matters. Quiet faith is not weakness. It is spiritual maturity lived on the ground of real life. And perhaps the most important question is not when God answers, but who you become while waiting. Are you hardening or staying faithful? Are you withdrawing to feel less pain, or remaining because leaving would cost more? Rizpah's story does not belong only to the past. It confronts the present, and it invites you to decide whether this story will stay only about her or also about you. If this message spoke to your heart, write in the comments, "Remaining is also faith." Subscribe to the channel to continue this journey, learning from biblical stories that bring meaning, direction, and hope to real life.